recently realized that even though I've always considered myself to be an extreme introvert, in the sense that I always score 100% or near 100% I on every MBTI test. Turns out my ISTJ girlfriend actually has less tolerance for social activities than I do. Like I used to attend parties occasionally, especially when I was in my 20s and 30s. Um, you know, Activities organized by, my young adult singles group at my church or whatever. I enjoyed attending those, just because they were rare and, they were just interesting experiences for me. My ISTJ girlfriend pretty much dreads parties that are coming up. As I've gotten older, I've had less and less desire to go out and socialize, because it's like been there, done that. My girlfriend never had that desire. She always prefers to just kind of be a hermit or just occasionally go out with like one friend. But then it got me thinking, that actually makes sense when you think about the ISTJ versus ISTP cognitive functions, specifically their auxiliary function, which is the extroverted function for an introvert. For ISTJs and INTJs, it's TE, extroverted thinking, and that's the function that likes to organize stuff and accomplish tasks efficiently. But when you're out socializing, it's basically like a waste of time because you're not really accomplishing anything. Now, ISTPs and ISFPs have SE, extroverted sensing, as their auxiliary function, and that basically just enjoys observing and experiencing stuff. So, that's why for me it's sometimes fun to just like do something unusual, like just hang out with a group of people, even if I'm not like directly interacting with them the whole time. I like to just kind of sit and observe, listen to conversations, or I might just decide to like kind of go off and look at something else or something. The point is, I like to be doing something if I'm given such an opportunity. More days than not, I would prefer to be alone. But I occasionally enjoy going out and doing stuff, either by myself or with people. Now, the other thing that my girlfriend doesn't like doing is being amongst a lot of people she doesn't know. Now, for me, that can be hit and miss. Sometimes I might get lucky and enjoy the activity, like for instance, if there's swing dancing, or if I find one or two people that I just happen to enjoy talking to, just they just happen to be interesting for whatever reason. And then there are times when I go to a party and then I just end up thinking, why the heck did I come here? But my girlfriend is just generally not into parties. And there's really nothing that she gets out of it other than getting to see that one good friend that invited her. And that's the other interesting thing. She still goes to those things, even if she dreads them. You know, it's out of a sense of duty, just like a typical ISTJ. Me, if I don't want to go to something, I just don't go. And I used to just kind of give lame excuses like, "Oh, I'm busy," um, or I would just kind of avoid the subject, or if it was like a group invitation, I would just ignore it. But now nowadays, I had no trouble just being honest. Like, nah, I'll pass. Now, for her, the combination of being ISTJ and Enneagram Type 9 also makes it difficult because it's like, well, she doesn't want to cause a conflict by expressing a difference of opinion with the people that she's socializing with, or, just getting invited to the party in the first place. She doesn't want to offend somebody by turning them down and not really having a good excuse. So if she doesn't have a good excuse, then she'll more likely just end up giving in and just agreeing to go, and then she'll just show up, make sure that people see that she's there, and then talk to a few people, and then find an opportunity to leave. And, I used to do the same thing. I'm also a type 9. I also have this tendency to want to avoid that sort of conflict. And so, I don't know, if somebody invites me to something, I don't have a good excuse. Yeah, that is my kind of my natural tendency. But as I've gotten older, I've forced myself to get out to overcome that tendency because in my mind my TI is thinking why should I have to go to something that I don't want to go to? Is there going to be consequence if I don't go? So I'm able to reason these things, and so it's easier for me to make a conscious decision that if I really don't want to go to this thing, then I just won't go. And somebody gets offended because I decided I didn't want to go to something, that's on them. Why should I care? ISTJ is less likely to think along those lines because they'll just do whatever they've always done. But in any case, it's probably a good thing that my girlfriend and I met after I had already gotten all that partying out of my system. Because it's like, yeah, now I prefer to stay home. She prefers to stay home. So, we can just always hang out together and not feel obligated to go out and hang out with people. If she doesn't want to face people with telling them that she doesn't want to go, then she can just let me do it. And as for New Year's Eve, it looks like the two of us are going to be spending a quiet evening together and celebrating the new year. So, looking forward to that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I picked this time to record my video because Miss ISTJ is at the Nutcracker ballet performance. Figured this would be the perfect time, but apparently she just sat down. The show hasn't started yet. Now she's messaging me, showing me pictures of the stage, as if I care about that.